Hello everyone, this is Dr. Swati Mishra from International School of Business Management at Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. And we are continuing with our sessions of service marketing. In our previous session, I had put some light on the concept of internal customers, what are the internal customers, and who all could be called as an internal customer of an organization. This session will again be a continuation of the previous session wherein we will be studying this concept of internal marketing and internal customers in details. We'll be studying about the characteristics of the internal customers in this session. Before that, I will try to define this concept of internal customers and internal marketing for you people so that you don't have to go back to your previous sessions recordings in case if you have missed them or maybe it has been a gap of some more time between the two sessions. So as far as the learning objectives of this session are concerned, the learning objectives of this session are to introduce the learners to the idea of driving success in service marketing. This session will give the learners knowledge about how organizations use internal marketing and internal customers. The learners will also get an understanding of the concept of internal marketing. And the objective of this session is also to understand the necessity of providing an excellent customer experience. While we are done with this session, the learners will be having a deeper understanding of how one can strive to drive success in service marketing. The learners will carry an in depth knowledge about how the organizations are using internal marketing and internal customers for their benefits. The learners will be able to apply the concept of internal marketing practically, and they will also be having a deeper understanding of the necessity of providing an excellent customer experience. So before we start up into getting into the deeper depths of this concept, I would once again try to define this concept to you people, define the internal customers for you. So an internal customer is always defined as a customer who works in the organization, which means within the organization. That means he's the employee of the organization. He does not pay for using any of the products or services of the organization. So, internal customers are the company's employees or maybe the stakeholders within the company who are interdependent on each other to complete their jobs. For example, if I am working in an accounts department of an organization and I need some data from the MIS and I'm not able to, actually get to that data, then I might take help of the IT department of the organization. And if the IT department needs to put up some budgets for the upcoming session for the purchase of new workstations, they might seek the help of the accounts department for the same. So, this ways they are interdependent on each other for their jobs and they don't pay for rendering the services of each other. So, that is why they become the internal customers of the organization in this case. So, whom can we actually call an internal customer? Although we have discussed it in detail in the previous session, I had told you about each and every type of internal customer. I would once again put light on it. The internal customer is anyone who works within the company or with whom the employees or the staff interact inside the organization as a part of their regular job or responsibility. Such employees are also known as the stakeholders of the organization. Their overall experience directly impacts the quality of the product that has to be delivered to the external customer. And that is why we always believe that a happy internal customer will always convert the external customer into a happy external. So let us try to now move ahead and discuss this concept of internal customers into some more detail so that you get an in depth understanding of it. And for that matter, first of all, we need to understand some common characteristics of the internal customer. We need to understand as to what these internal customers are and what are their characteristics. So, the first and the foremost characteristic that I want to discuss with you people is the close bonded relationship that these internal customers have with each other. So, it is very obvious that in a big organization, there are multiple departments which are functioning at a time, and each and every department has multiple different employees who are employed to do different jobs in those departments, and none of the departments work in isolation with each or they are aloof from each other. Rather, they all work in synchronization or coordination with each other. So every department supports the other department. I just gave you an example of the accounts and the IT department, how they would need each other and support each other. So, every department in an organization supports the other one, which helps in creating a very close bond amongst those employees. Now, of course, this bond is different from the relationship that an organization or the internal customers of the organization would have with their clients. For example, the company only extends its services and products, thus, there is no personal relationship between the company and the customer. But with the employees, everyone has to work in the same environment. So this helps in developing a relationship of team or a relationship of friendship, camaraderie, or anything like that. So that is why the relationship within the internal customers are more closely bonded rather than as compared to the ones with the customers. So I hope the first characteristic is absolutely clear to all of you. We would now move ahead towards the next characteristic, which is frequent interaction. So the employees always have frequently sought support or service from all the relevant departments, right? So, you know, system breakdown is very widespread in most of the companies, which is highly dependent on technological support. Hence, there is always a regular interaction between those respective departments which need any kind of technological support from each other. So, this is what is frequent interaction. Then the third one is that there is always a two-way communication between the internal customers, because internal customer service in itself is a two-way communication process, because the departments are actually helping each other to ensure that the workflow within the organization is absolutely smooth. And to have that smooth out workflow, they have to have a good two-way communication between each other. If there is a monologue and there is not a dialogue, there would not be a proper coordination within the departments. For that matter, the two-way communication is highly necessary. So, for example, if we just take an example of a hotel, the kitchen and the service departments always coordinate with each other to give a quality service to their customers. If they are not working in coordination, then the ultimate goal of providing good service to the external customer gets defeated. And for that matter, it is highly important that the employees within those two segments have a good communication with each other. So that is what is the third characteristic of internal customers is. So I hope that you have understood all the three characteristics that I wanted to discuss with you. First, there should be a close bonded relationship between the internal customers. Secondly, there is a frequent interaction between the internal customers. And there is a two-way communication within the internal customers. So these are the three characteristics that you should know properly in order to understand the characteristics of internal customers. Now, let us move ahead with the discussion. And I am sure that a lot of people or a lot of viewers who are viewing this video, some important questions must be popping into your minds, and one of them should be the one that I have written on the screen. Why should your company pay attention to your internal customers? $1 million question to be answered right now. Why is it important? I already told you that you know uh, happy internal customer would always try to make a happy uh, external customer. He would always create a good word of mouth for the organization. He would always try to strive to uh, give the best results while performing for that organization, and he will always strive to achieve the goals of that organization. So that is why, let's try to answer this question once again. And, customer service, uh, or as a matter of fact, I should say, a strong customer service always helps to retain the customers for the company. Now, how does that happen? You know, it would help in creating some good business opportunities because when we are giving away good services, especially good post delivery of the product services, you know your customer is always happy with the kind of performance that your organization is giving, or the kind of services your organization is giving. And it is always said in marketing that one happy customer will tell 10 others. And now it is the world of social media. So if you are getting one good review, one good 5-star rating on your website, it will tell around 50,000 others. Because today, every customer is highly keen in going through the reviews of the customers while deciding upon any product or any service. And of course, if you're rendering good services, then your customers will be retained. They will become loyal for you for a longer duration of time. They would always try to seek your products or your services. So it helps in creating good business opportunities. However, to provide exceptional service, one needs a very efficient and hardworking team. And that is why it becomes highly crucial to provide a good working environment to your employees within the organization. Because unless your team is actually satisfied with the working conditions that they have, if they're not able to manage the work properly, if the deadlines are too irrelevant and too short or impracticable, if the targets are too impracticable or unachievable, management is not giving a thought towards all this, then either you will have uh, turn into losing your good employees and your good team, or else you will be not having a team which is actually working very hard and actually working very efficiently, so as to achieve the goals of the organization. And the first and the foremost goal of any service providing organization is to have a happy customer. So it's a simple equation. that to have a happy external customer, one has to create a good working environment so that they have a good internal happy customer. For example, maybe a sale of the product can only succeed if the marketing team's advertising campaign is, uh, very efficient or effective. So, in this case, the sales department would become the internal customer of the marketing department, and therefore, a company should pay highly close attention to their internal customers. This is because ultimately an organization can reach the goal only if all the responsible departments are working efficiently in coordination with each other. So now, if you have thoroughly understood that, you know, why should your company pay attention to your internal customers, I think the next question that must be popping in all of your kind selves' minds should be that how should I be able to, manage these internal customers? What takes it to manage these internal customers? So, the first and the foremost thing that is required in managing your internal customers is the feedback. So, the company has to first identify where your key customer interactions are taking place with for your employees. Then the company should track down the starting point till the end point of the employees' experiences. This will help you to ensure and to know more about where the breakdowns are actually occurring. And on those points of breakdown, the company can actually receive feedback from the employees to solve the problem or maybe the issue. For example, if a production team is facing a problem due to the machinery, will obviously get frustrated because their work is not done efficiently. So this actually, negatively impacts the overall experience of the whole department. So from the necessary feedbacks, the companies can actually work to solve the issue of those breakdowns. The next step is taking actions. So the internal customer or the internal communication that is occurring between the customers, is a very closed loop communication. So this basically ensures to help the company to turn any sort of negative interaction or experience into a positive one. So it is up to the company to create an appreciative work environment which will result in the employees being more motivated as compared to what they were earlier. Because appreciation is always, a human being's necessity. When I am taking good lectures and I get appreciated by my HOD or maybe my dean, I get really motivated and I feel like taking even better lectures with better examples and better case studies. If I am motivating my students for doing something, maybe my student has prepared a flyer for me and I really appreciate him, and the next time when he will do it, he'll do it in a better manner. So, that is why this appreciative work environment is highly necessary in an organization if you want a motivated team working for you. So, in such type of cases, the human resource manager plays a big role in the company. A supportive HR department will be sought by the employees who are actually facing any kind of work related problems or maybe the work related issue. And the HR will be ensuring that it gets resolved at the earliest possible time. So that is why, taking action is highly important in this case. If you find that there is any employee who is not satisfied by the kind of environment that he is living in, or maybe is not getting appreciated enough, you need to learn to appreciate your employees. You need to resolve their problems very promptly. You have to listen to their suggestions, issues very keenly, because not every time the higher authorities and the managers are correct. Sometimes even the employees have better ideas, because they are also working in the same organization on the same products with the same customers for year longs, and they have good amount of experience to share with you. That is why a positive and a very supportive HR is required in this case, who are actually communicating the message to the higher management if any kind of problems are there, and whenever the need be, and the HR will ensure that it gets resolved at the earliest possible time. So let us move ahead to the third one, which is creating service standards. So it is very obvious that a company should try to establish a clear service standard, you know and why these service standards are necessary, because this will ultimately give the employees absolutely clear directions and instructions over how to operate, when to operate, what is their deadline, how many products are supposed to be delivered in one day, or maybe how many customer clients are supposed to be handled in one day. So every department has to, have their designated work, which always comes up with the standard operating procedures for this. The standard operation operating procedures, or the SOPs, ensure that every employee in the company knows what to do, and of course also feels valued. If you are paying attention towards your employees, and it is very obvious that the employee knows that the organization not only shows trust in him, but is also valuing him a lot, and he will pay back that value and that respect and that trust by showing the same trust, value, and respect towards the organization. And this actually reflects in the kind of services that you are giving away to your external customers also. So the next one is acknowledging the accomplishments and celebrating success. The name itself describes what it means to say. In the previous slide I had spoken about uh, creating an appreciative environment for the employees. So here you have to know the fact that the employees are motivated if acknowledged for their hard work. So it is highly important for the management, the general managers, or maybe the divisional heads to keep acknowledging the hard work of each and every employee, because unless that acknowledgement is received, the employee starts getting a feeling that he is not actually um, being able to get acknowledged by the higher authorities or his reporting officer, and his efforts that he is putting in are not getting acknowledged. And soon there will be a time of increments, and if your hard work is not acknowledged, then how do you expect that you will get any kind of good rise? So employees will get motivated if acknowledged for their hard work. So this practice in a company will actually ensure better desired results, and it will also create a good competitive spirit in your organization where everyone will try to strive for getting acknowledged and doing better than the other one. So the employee's success should also be celebrated. For example, by giving away an employee of the month, or maybe the highest target achiever of the month, or anything like that. So at the end of this session, the last thing that I want to discuss is who is an external customer. Now that you are clearly aware of what is an internal customer, as I told you, that all the employees and the stakeholders of an organization who are working for the organization and are not paying for the services and products that they are rendering from the organization would be actually called as the internal customer. Now we are shifting towards the external customers. So, external customers are obviously the people who pay for the company's products or services. So, whenever any person is, buying a product for his own personal consumption or maybe for any other consumer, then that will be called as an external customer. For example, if a customer wants to purchase a toothpaste, then that customer will purchase the product of the same brand that they have been using earlier, or maybe that has been suggested to him as being the better option as compared to what he was earlier using. So that is why, the external customers are the people who pay for the company's products or services. Such people see the company as the provider of their needs, wants to, purchase anything that they want or to fulfill the necessities that they have within the organization. Okay, so that is what is the it's not within the organ, out of the organization. So, that is what is the relationship between the internal customers and the external customers. So, with this, we have almost come to an end of this session. After this session, we will be discussing some more in depth insights of the concept of internal customers in service marketing. And you people will get thoroughly informed about this concept of internal customers and external customers both. We will be in the next session discussing how internal customers are different from the external customers. So what exactly, differentiates between internal customers and the external customers is what we are going to be studying in the next session. Meanwhile, I really hope that this session was absolutely informative for all of you and must have cleared a lot of your doubts. Even though if any of the queries or doubts are remaining, then you are most welcome to please post your doubts and queries in the message box. I would be really happy to answer to your queries. And also, if you need any kind of teaching learning material, then please ping me in the message box. I will be very happy to deliver them to you absolutely for free. So that is all from my side for today, and I really hope that this session was has done justice to the topic and has made you understand the characteristics of the internal customers thoroughly. So that is all from my side for today. This is Dr. Swati Mishra from International School of Business Management at Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur, signing off. Thank you so much and have a nice day.